there is something so natural about the way people respond to trauma. The trauma itself is horrific and it's life-changing in many cases, in most cases, in fact. But the body responds exactly the way it is supposed to respond. Some people lose track of all their memories. There are many cases of people losing their memory as a child and then it starts to resurface in their 40s or 50s. That protects the individual.
Thoughts lead to emotions, which leads to actions or behaviors, which lead to results in our life. So if the results in our life aren't what we want them to be, we need to go back and have a look at our thoughts and say, how are we doing? Because everything happens twice, on your inside world and then outside. So what is it about my thoughts that's creating this outside world?
The trauma jars every cell in a person's body. Trauma is stored in the cells, it's stored in the thoughts, the images, the body sensations. And it's all by design. It's all about the best way to survive. And that's the thing sometimes that bothers me, is that people almost criticize or put down somebody for feeling depressed or for acting out. But every person responds to trauma differently, and every body reacts to trauma differently as well. And it's so hard when it's emotional trauma versus a physical trauma. You can see the body healing, but when it's something emotional, you can't see it.
A scientist named Candace Pert developed or discovered an actual molecule within the brain that leads from a thought into our body. They're called neuropeptides. And what that does, if we have a negative thought that goes over and over in our mind, then it releases into our body somewhere, which we'll call right now our subconscious, because our body is virtually works subconsciously. So there's all this tension and stuff that's happening from our thoughts going into our body and into our emotions. Physically moving the body, because our bodies are made to move, physically moving our body can move that energy outward. Martial arts are an excellent way to do that, because in the physical motions of the martial arts is moving the body in different ways that it's normally used to moving, and that whole soft and hard and expressing yourself. It's a form of voice without lying on the couch and saying, this is what happened to me in my life. You can go to a martial arts and move the body and move a lot of that stress that's collected in our organs, really, and moving that out of the body in specific patterned ways through specific, and using your voice as well, moves all of that tension and stress out of the body. If you don't do that, it creates dis-ease in your body. There's a dis-ease that can manifest in all kinds of different ways, in cancers, heart disease, heart attacks, all kinds of different ways. I mean, the list could go on and on. When you exercise and express your creativity through a physical motion, you start to release some of that trauma. Dance is another one, singing, going to the gym and pushing your body a little bit. Yoga, the Eastern philosophy is really about building the unity, the holistic peace between the spirit, the emotions, the mind, and the body, is bringing balance back into there, releasing the emotional traumas through the exercises, honing the mind, keeping the mind straight, opening up space for creative thought to come up, rather than that cycle of negativity that we can get so wound up in.